The New England Patriots, with Brady and Belichick, played in 9 Super Bowls, and they won 6 of them. That's remarkable. And most of us never thought we would ever see something like that again. But I'm here to tell you today, the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are not only going to catch the Patriots, they're going to pass them. Now, as crazy as that sounds, before you go nuts, let's just look at the resume and the trajectory. This will be the 5th Super Bowl Patrick Mahomes has played in so far, and he's 3-1. He's only 29 years old. Andy Reid's only 66, which in the NFL, 60 is the new 40. These two have many more years together, and they're the straw that really stirs the drink. Now, according to DraftKings, Mahomes has made the Super Bowl 5 out of his 8 seasons, which is about 63%. To put that in perspective, Steph Curry's career three-point percentage is 43%. So according to the numbers, Mahomes is more likely to make the Super Bowl than Steph Curry is to hit a 3. That is absolutely bananas. And when you look around the league right now, there are some teams on the come up, but a lot of the top dogs have already tried to add everything and anything possible to catch Kansas City. The Ravens added Derrick Henry, and the Eagles have taken everyone Georgia and Bama has to offer, and it still hasn't worked. Now, we'll see in the Super Bowl this year, but to this point, it hasn't. But the biggest reason the Chiefs will catch the Patriots eventually is because they've been able to be malleable as a team while dominating. They are a true chameleon. Some years the offense will lead the way, but others the defense has been the guiding light. They can beat you in so many different ways, and even when they lose people, they don't lose steam. Tyreek Hill left. They didn't really miss a beat. Travis Kelce can retire, and they'll find another really good tight end. It'll still work because it's about the system and the conductors. And as painful as this may be to some, they're not close to done. And by the time it's all over, they will have surpassed what we thought was unsurpassable. David Cohn, obviously what the Patriots did, just nuts. Just absolutely nuts. But if you look at the trajectory right now, man, and I'm scoping out the rest of the league, I think Kansas City can catch him as long as Mahomes doesn't get hurt or something happens with Andy Reid. He chokes on a hot dog or something. I don't know.
Oh, let's not hope for that. A corn dog,
It'd probably be
as the plays are named after. Let's really break this down and get fundamental. I just want to recap that stat real quick because that is insane. So Patrick Mahomes has made the Super Bowl 5 out of 8 seasons, 63%, like you said. Steph Curry, career three-point percentage, 43%. Patrick Mahomes more likely to reach the Super Bowl than Steph is to make a three-pointer in a game. So I ran the same numbers for Tom Brady in New England. 20 seasons, 9 Super Bowl appearances, like you said. 6 wins, those 3 losses. 2 to the Giants, 1 to Philly. 45%. So Tom Brady in his time in New England, and keep in mind, he still went and got another Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, which is even more nuts. But we're just talking about the New England dynasty right now. 2 decades, 20 years. His percentage chance to make the Super Bowl also higher, 2 percentage points higher than Steph Curry's percentage chance to make a three-pointer, which is insane. Not taking anything away from the stat we just read for Patrick Mahomes and everything that the Chiefs have going on. But for 2 decades, Brady in New England had a higher percentage chance to make a Super Bowl, which is crazy. A couple points here, though, which is why I think you are right that the Chiefs at least have the possibility of overtaking this dynasty is because Brady and Bill showed us if you get the right quarterback-coach combination, you can do this for a long time. The roster from that Super Bowl 1 in 2001 to the last one they got, number 6, completely different rosters. I mean, as great as the combination of Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson was, there were still other pieces. Most dynasties have multiple pieces. Scottie Pippen's on there. Jerry Krause, the GM. Look at those Warriors team. Yes, Steph and Steve Kerr, but you got Klay Thompson on those teams, Draymond Green on all those teams. If you get the right quarterback-coach combo, you can do this for a long time. Like you said, even if Travis Kelce retires, they traded away Tyreek Hill, and at the time, we said, wow, they just won the Super Bowl with their worst roster. It's only going to get better. They could win a few in a row, and now look at us. We're a week away from them winning 3 in a row.
Without a doubt. And the ancillary pieces, too, and there's so many correlations with what the Patriots had at certain spots and what the Chiefs have and kind of the formula and how when you go to the Chiefs organization, they put you in the best position possible, whether that's a draft pick or whether that's a trade. So let's just look at some of the ancillary pieces, right? We know Belichick was a defensive guy. You look at that offense, Tom Brady was really the OC. Well, Andy Reid's an offensive guy, but Spags is a huge part of this too. And I don't think Spags is close to retiring. I don't think he wants to be a head coach anywhere. So what could derail the Chiefs? What are the things that could derail them? Devastating injury to Patrick Mahomes. A sudden retirement for Andy Reid because of any myriad of reasons, which I don't hope happens. But I'm looking around. Outside of that, man, that's really it. But then again, back to the ancillary pieces, you remember the Patriots had Vinatieri, really good kicking game, solid field goal kicker. Harrison Butker's one of the best field goal kickers in the game. He's not going anywhere. But think of all the players that had come and gone on the Patriots, right? But they always were able to still be really good because they had the main thing. And that locker room helped everybody else coming in. Xavier Worthy, bring him in from Texas. Takes him a little bit of time to get going, but it's working. Taking guys that are kind of unknowns, but they're producing. Look at Noah Gray, some of these other guys that they have. Even Pacheco at the running back side, getting Kareem Hunt back, kind of resurrecting his career and what he's meant. So I look at the way the Patriots used to take the undervalued guy and find a way and make the best. I feel like the Chiefs kind of had that same mojo. So outside of the biggest question in this is outside of the Mahomes and Reid, them leaving or getting hurt or something, that situation. Like, what else can another NFL team do? Like, what can you do?
Yeah, it's a good question. A couple other things to point out here. Tom and Bill, they won 3 in their first 4 years together when Tom was starting. That's 6 overall in 20 years, like we said. Andy and Pat got 3 in the first 6 years, but they're going for 4 and 7. When you ask, like, what can other teams do? I just wonder when some of these other great players who are in great organizations are going to break through. I mean, as impressive as it is that Tom and Bill won 6 together in 20 years, you can't, like, it gets harder the longer you're on top. Peyton Manning broke through and got a couple Super Bowls, you know, while Bill and Tom were still together. Drew Brees breaks through and gets one with the Saints. Aaron Rodgers breaks through. So I'm just wondering, like, at what point can Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow or some of these guys break through and steal a couple, even to just break up this dynasty?
Well, and to that point, I think the Chiefs doing this so quickly, 5 and 8 years, has given you the ability to maybe the Ravens do break through one year. Maybe the Lions figure it out one year. You can now afford to, because if Patrick Mahomes wins this one, correct me if I'm wrong, he's only 2 away from as many as the Patriots won, as long as Bill and Tom were together. Now, Tom went and got that other one, right? He's got 7, but you get 4 and you're 29. I mean, look when Tom got his, and I think Patrick has shown that he's sturdy. You know, he's not a guy that sits a lot with injuries. He keeps himself in there. So by making hay this early, I think the Chiefs have bought themselves some time to maybe go a couple years without winning one. Because I think Patrick's going to play for a really long time. The way the rules are set up now, quarterbacks can play longer. It's an offensive, league, the way the rules are slanted. I'm just wondering, like, if you get to 4 and you go a 10-year span and you only win 3, and I know that's like only winning 3 Super Bowls in 10 years, like that's a bad thing. You now have more than that dynasty had.
Let me ask you this, though. Let's talk about the Andy Reid side of this. Patrick Mahomes still young. He's going to be an NFL quarterback, and he's going to be really good for a long time, or as long as he wants to be, no matter who else retires, like Travis Kelce and those guys. But Andy Reid is a pivotal part of what great stuff they're doing. 66 years old, like you said. We just saw, like, some of these guys, like Bill Belichick, what's he, 72? Just went to coach North Carolina because he can't stay away from the game. Pete Carroll wanted back in so bad at 73. He's going to coach the Raiders with really no answer at quarterback. Andy Reid seems like that type of guy, but what if he's not? What if he saw what happened with Belichick after Brady and the fall off there? What if he saw, like we've seen other guys, Michael Jordan and those Bulls teams in 98, they could have gone and gotten another one, I think. They ended on top. Same with John Elway, back-to-back Super Bowls, he ended on top. How much of this with Andy Reid is like, you know what, after the time I spent in Philly, and they ran me off after I couldn't win a Super Bowl, I've worked my way up now to being talked about as the greatest football coach of all time. When should I walk away on top?
I don't know Andy Reid personally, and I don't know his personal preference. Is there pressure from his family that, hey, we want you to spend more time, you're getting in your 70s, seeing your grandkids and stuff like that? I don't know that for a fact. But when I look at, as long as Patrick Mahomes is in Kansas City, I think Andy Reid is going to ride this thing out as much as possible. Now, if we get to the point, David, where they have usurped the Patriots dynasty, maybe that's time. Maybe that's the number. Trying to be the greatest NFL head coach of all time. Maybe that's when you decide to step away. But how many times have we seen coaches kind of hint that I'm going to leave or I'm done after this or whatever, and then they don't, and then they stay? I mean, we know the only reason why Joe Pa had to leave Penn State. Some of these guys want to coach forever. Actually, most of them, I think, do. That's what I think what makes Nick Saban, what he did, so impressive, being able to walk away. We'll see if he stays out for long. I think he will, but that's an anomaly. I just think as long as Patrick Mahomes is there and they got the mix right like this, I don't see it ending anytime soon. I mean, 66 is young.
Yeah.
66 is young. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Do us a favor, man. Please hit that subscribe button. We really, really appreciate it. We're going to live stream the Super Bowl from Mission Cigar and Social. Do not miss it. They're always a lot of fun.